Thinking of moving to Portugal? Do you have questions on healthcare or expat life? Wondering where's the best place to live? We love it here in Portugal, but obviously, living in Portugal is not all sunshine and wine. Like any other country, there are a handful of things that annoy everyone in Portugal. In today's video, we'll explore 20 things you should know before going to Portugal in 2024, which includes both positive and negative aspects. Stick to the end, as every piece of information is vital to your well-being. Hola! Welcome to Remote Life Portugal. Here, we share our personal experiences of living in Portugal and provide guidance on how to make money online so you can speed up your success from anywhere in the world. So, what are the things you should expect in Portugal? You might be shocked by the last 3 points. 1. The country is very safe. One key advantage of this country is its high level of safety and low crime rate. The country is safe for everyone, including women. In fact, Portugal has been recognized as the 7th safest country in the world, according to the Global Peace Index for 2023. Additionally, Lisbon, the capital city, has been ranked 4th in terms of best cities for expat living and 5th in terms of quality of life, according to the 2022 Internations Expat Insider Survey. 2. The cold and poorly insulated houses. One of the major drawbacks of the country is its cold temperatures. While not as cold as Canada or the UK, nighttime temperatures in many areas of Portugal can drop close to 0 degrees Celsius or below. Moreover, snow is not uncommon in central and northern regions. In fact, there is even a ski resort at Serra da Estrela. That actually isn't a problem. The problem lies in the poorly insulated houses, which can trigger health issues. Exposure to prolonged cold temperatures can lead to hypothermia, which is particularly dangerous for older adults and children. Furthermore, it can exacerbate respiratory conditions such as asthma or bronchitis. Living in a house without central heating or proper insulation can be challenging during winter. However, there are ways to make life easier. Portable heaters, electric blankets, and wearing multiple layers of clothing indoors can provide some relief. 3. Amazing food. When discussing Portugal, it would be an offense against humanity to not mention its mouth-watering dishes. Did you know that this country is one of Europe's great agricultural centers, boasting a diverse collection of incredible fruits and vegetables that vary with the seasons? Portuguese cuisine is made of real, hearty food. Talk of cozido à portuguesa, feijoada, or francesinha. These aren't the most beautiful and gourmet dishes, but they are delicious and full of substance. However, traditional Portuguese food isn't vegan-friendly.
Hey, bro, come on now, dawg.
I'm not sure if there's any local Portuguese dish that's vegan, but you will find their variations in vegan restaurants, especially in Porto, Lisbon, and ALGARVE. 4. Difficulty finding long-term rental properties. Aside from the neck-breaking hike in rent prices, finding a long-term rental property in Portugal can be quite challenging, particularly in popular areas like Lisbon and the Algarve. The main issue stems from the high demand and limited supply. Many landlords in Portugal prefer short-term rentals over long-term leases because opting for short-term rentals allows them to charge higher rates, especially during the peak tourist seasons. For instance, renting out an apartment for €1,000 a month as a long-term option pales compared to €250 per night in July and August, thanks to the overwhelming demand from tourists. Besides, ironically, taxes are much lower on short-term rental income than on long-term rental income. This means finding a long-term rental property at an affordable price can be extremely difficult for both the locals and expats, which leads me to the next point. 5. Lack of central heating. Nearly all homes in Portugal do not have a central heating system installed, which can make winters uncomfortable for residents. One of the disadvantages of living in such homes is the time it takes to warm up the house. The cost of heating individual rooms can add up quickly, considering the expensive energy bills in Portugal. Even if you're a digital nomad living in Portugal and able to afford everything, you'll still find it strange to pay an exorbitant amount of 2 to 3 times what you would pay for electricity in other countries monthly. Don't miss our take on Portugal's public services. There's a twist you wouldn't expect. 6. Another significant advantage of living in Portugal is the affordable cost of living. Portugal is affordable compared to most developed nations in Europe and North America. We wouldn't call it cheap because that terminology isn't exactly the truth. Instead of cheap, Portugal offers great value for those who earn income outside of the country. But you can easily afford things if you're a digital nomad, and this is why you should like and subscribe to this channel because here we teach you how to make money online. 7. The inefficiency of public services such as hospitals and driver's license centers. One of the most frustrating aspects experienced by many people here is the prolonged waiting times to have their calls answered. If you think you can swiftly connect with a representative to address your concerns, that is a fantasy. Instead, It has become a common occurrence to spend many minutes on hold, eagerly hoping for someone to pick up on the other end. Although the public healthcare system is generally of high quality, wait times can be long, and some may prefer to opt for private healthcare instead. A glaring example is when a company assures you they will call you the next day to complete a process or service, only to falter on their commitment. Instead of receiving a phone call within the promised time frame, you might be left waiting for another week or two before even hearing from the business. Shockingly enough, they won't even tender an apology for the delay and inconvenience caused. In Portugal, feeling frustrated and disheartened is normal. 8. Beautiful parks, stunning beaches, and mesmerizing landscapes. Portuguese beaches, particularly those in the Algarve, have been voted as some of the best in the world. If you dream of spending time basking in the sunshine and listening to the waves, then this country is undoubtedly the perfect destination for you. In addition to the splendid beaches, Portugal offers several excellent surfing hubs, including Sagres, Ericeira, Madeira, or Serra de Rabada. There is so much natural beauty waiting to be explored in Portugal. 9. Extremely high taxes. Portugal doesn't have the highest taxes in Europe, but it doesn't have the lowest taxes either. Portuguese taxes, particularly when added to the social security fees, are high. They can also be a little complicated, and requiring an accountant does add a cost that you might not pay if you lived elsewhere. Residents in Portugal are taxed on their global income, ranging from 14.5% to 48% annually. Imagine paying half of your income to the government. Non-residents are only taxed at a flat rate of 25% on their Portuguese source income, including the income on activity carried out in Portugal and any compensation paid by a Portuguese company or permanent establishment. 10. Large expat community. Integrating into a new country might be hard sometimes, but at least there's a large, welcoming expat community here in Portugal. It allows you to quickly establish connections with those in a similar situation as yourself, making it easier to obtain helpful information and guidance for acclimating to life in Portugal. However, there is a limit to how the community can help, especially in administrative processes, which leads me to the next downside. And by the way, you can join our group and get even more familiar with Portugal and making money online while meeting like-minded people. Find the link in the description. 11. Frustrating bureaucratic processes in Portugal. Bureaucratic processes in Portugal can be frustrating and time-consuming. In simple words, it is extremely slow compared to other European countries, making it difficult to get even the basic things done, like paying taxes or changing phone numbers at the bank. Everything takes days, many documents, and lots of patience. This can be a challenge for expats used to more streamlined processes in their home countries. For example, getting a residence permit in Portugal can take 12 to 24 months due to the slow process of gathering documents, scheduling appointments, and waiting for approvals. The same goes for opening a bank account or registering a car, which can take 3 months due to inefficient bureaucracy. 12. The slow pace of life. The slow pace of life is one of the main reasons many people move to Portugal, but that slow pace of life can also be a downside. When you have something that needs doing, suddenly you find yourself wishing that the slow pace of life wasn't a thing in Portugal. 13. Easy to travel elsewhere. If you are a digital nomad or expat who loves to travel, there's no better place to live than Portugal. Not only can you get around the country very easily by train, but you can go anywhere from Lisbon airport at a discounted price. When people move to another country, they often overlook an important factor, the availability of short connecting flights. In certain parts of the world, such flights are scarce. However, if you are living in Portugal, you have the advantage of being able to easily visit your family regardless of their location. Additionally, Portugal provides convenient access to other European destinations through various low-cost airlines, making it an ideal starting point for vacations throughout the continent. But unfortunately, one cannot say this about the transportation system within the rural areas of the country. 14. Limited public transportation options in rural areas. Outside major cities in Portugal, public transportation options are limited. As a result, many Portuguese people residing in rural areas depend on cars as their main mode of transport. However, the road infrastructure in these areas is often poor, and there is regular occurrence of drunk driving among locals. This combination makes traveling by car in rural Portugal risky. While living in Portugal has its advantages, it is crucial to recognize the associated risks. If you have plans to live or travel to Portugal soon, it is important to take extra precautions to ensure your safety when navigating the roads. 15. Move with cash, not all shops accept foreign cards. We wouldn't call this a downside, but a precaution. When it comes to making purchases while visiting Portugal, cash is king. Portugal is not as credit card friendly as other countries like France, Germany, US, etc. It's better to withdraw enough money from an ATM than be stranded while moving about. Some smaller stores and restaurants won't accept credit cards because they have to pay heavy fees to use them. You shouldn't have problems finding ATMs and withdrawing money anywhere in the country. However, it's worth noting that in recent years, there has been a rise in Euronet ATMs in Portugal. These particular ATMs come with a substantial withdrawal fee. Imagine paying a fee of €3.50 just to withdraw €50. Personally, I steer clear of them.
No, God!
I don't mind walking a few more minutes to locate another ATM. 16. English is widely spoken. Learning the language should certainly be a goal, but it doesn't stop you from mixing with the locals and enjoying your stay in Portugal. If there's anything I appreciate in Portugal more than in other non-English speaking countries in Europe, it is that English is widely spoken. Be it in Lisbon or Porto, as well as throughout the Algarve, you will even find menus available in English. Road signs are displayed in both Portuguese and English, and most trains announce stops in English as well. So, when you get here, you should have no difficulty adapting without knowing a word of Portuguese. But again, learning the language will help you a ton. And if you're accepting suggestions, we have the best app to learn Portuguese in the description, so check it out. 17. Be prepared for hills and stairs. Lisbon is often referred to as the city of 7 hills, but there seem to be more than 700 hills. This hilly topography can also be found in other Portuguese cities, such as Porto. It's like the entire country is built on hills, with charming cobblestone streets covered in stone mosaics called calçada portuguesa. However, these beautiful pavements can be quite slippery. Plus, many houses in Portugal do not have elevators. Therefore, good footwear is a must when coming to Portugal. And be ready to climb the hills and stairs. 18. The cold ocean. Many people move to Portugal enticed by the beautiful beaches, only to be surprised by how cold the water is. Yes, it can be very cold because it's not the Mediterranean Sea, it's the Atlantic Ocean. It's one of those small downsides, but something to consider if you plan to spend a lot of time in the water. It's impossible to swim due to the ocean being so cold, but if you're a surfer, the quality of the waves may make up for the temperature of the water. 19. Deliveries and Customs. If you are coming from a country where online shopping is extremely developed, kiss your 24-hour express delivery goodbye. This is not the case in Portugal, especially as most online shopping is done with companies outside of Portugal. A huge percentage is likely with Amazon Spain. The challenge of getting things delivered, whether an online shopping order or a letter from overseas, is a constant complaint among expats. It can take days, or even weeks, plus outrageous shipping fees. 20. Quite a handful of drug dealers. Unfortunately, another disappointing aspect is the prevalence of drug dealers who persistently approach people with offers, asking if you're interested in purchasing some. It can be embarrassing and disturbing, especially if you are a man. Which part of our list resonated with you the most, and which least? Drop your thoughts in the comments. But this journey doesn't end here. If you're craving more insights into life in Portugal, tap on the video to the left. Or if you're ready to learn about earning money online, click the video on the right.